Hi, welcome to Superfluous Boucherie. It's my first video, and of course, most people take that time to explain what their channel's about. I'm not going to take that time. It's going to be about whatever comes up. It will go the direction it goes. My thoughts, my musings, whatever comes to mind. I've been inspired to start this channel to work out some of the thoughts that I've been having, the questions in my mind. They're not that deep. I'm a shallow person. So, this first video is kind of trying to understand what's happening in the world and some of the disconnection. And I want to put it out there to see if people are seeing it the same way I am. I could be wrong. I acknowledge my imperfections. With no further ado, to the whiteboards we go. Currently, we have a crisis of a medical issue going on that I believed has exacerbated an economic reality and an economic issue, as I like to speak. I see, regardless of what's happened medically or in terms of the pandemic, we see a result in the economy that is straightforward. That no news articles, very few people are talking about. They only give it partial consideration, and they don't do connections. These are my thoughts. I think in general, we can agree that retail, especially brick and mortar, is having a horrific time. Goes without saying, the cruise lines, unless someone wants to tell me different, and I'd love to hear, they're having a horrendous time. With that said, you have your vacation destinations, resorts, and all my little purple add-ons, the casinos, the sports arenas, the theaters, the arena events, your music events, all those, we can pretty much, comedians, everyone, it's all fallen apart. Hand in hand, what's happening medically as well as the economic status as everything gets disconnected. Of course, restaurants have had a huge hit, and economically they're challenged. These are all economically challenged areas. As these items are affected, your commercial real estate is also greatly affected. Goes without saying, hotels, Airbnb, cottages, camping. Maybe cottages and camping a little less, but people's ability to get around, the available money, makes that more challenging and changes the dynamics in the economy. And last of all, air travel. Okay? There are more things to add to this list. I spent precisely 7 minutes preparing this video. I know, more than most people. So I know there's more things that can be added. Feel free to comment. This situation economically is a large part of our services and of our consumer economy. This is a huge chunk, to steal from George Gammon. It's in the no bueno zone. No bueno. No bueno. It's not good. That's what I want to get at. These are all connected. They're all going in the toilet. I find that the news will talk about one thing at the time, But when you see the totality of this going in the toilet and you see it all on one board, you get concerned. Now, I've titled this next part, The Disconnect. Somehow the stock market is booming. So many industries going down and the stock market is booming. Doesn't make sense to me. No one can explain it. Your politicians, your economics people, the talking heads on TV keep saying everything is fine. I would never be saying everything is fine in lieu of the first set of realities on the other whiteboard. We're also spending money like it doesn't matter, creating money, MMT, modern monetary theory. We're creating more deficits, we're printing to the moon, and we're spending to the moon. This doesn't seem to bother anyone right now. That's the disconnect. You turn on the TV, everything's fine. The market's fine. Politicians say things are fine. And it appears, this is the reality of explaining what we're coming to. I feel that our politicians are just focusing on one thing at a time. They don't have the ability or don't believe the public is able to say, if we just talk about the medical crisis and how we're focusing on that, we don't want to talk about all the negatives of everything else. Everything else is fine until we deal with the medical problem. I feel shortly after the medical problem is brought under control, then they'll have a revelation of, oh wait, we have other problems. But for the time being, they don't want to confuse people. They just want to talk about one thing, although they're fully aware of board number one. So what does this mean? What are we going to try to do? Maybe student loan forgiveness, maybe an economic reset, maybe a debt jubilee, maybe endless stimulus. This is fascinating. I study this, I try to understand what's going on, and what is clear to me, feel free to comment, is that no one really knows where we're going. That is a difficult time. My last thought is on hyperinflation versus deflation. Right now, there's a big debate on YouTube about these two things. My take, to get right to the point, currently, deflation is on the technological areas, things that involve being mass produced are generally deflating. Your electronics are costing the same or less as they're driving the market to keep purchasing. And you're starting to see inflation, not hyperinflation though, in things that are consumed readily, that are more connected to labor and more connected to real property. So real estate, your steak, those things. So your phone will cost the same, but your real estate is going to go up. You can buy a gadget for the same or less, but your steak and your real estate and your car might go up. I do believe that eventually history shows that with endless stimulus and money creation, we eventually end up in hyperinflation. The geniuses this time might have some other ways of avoiding this, but history shows we eventually hyperinflate. Are we hyperinflating now? No. Those are my thoughts. So, I'm putting this out there into the YouTube world. Feel free to comment, see if I've totally missed the boat, and look forward to other musings and ideas that I'll come forward with. This is Superfluous Boucherie, signing off.